Coming to you live from the Business RadioX studio, it's Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by IDS, an award-winning digital marketing agency that delivers integrated marketing solutions for franchisors, franchisees, and franchise development teams. Learn why over 75 brands depend on IDS's team of dedicated marketers and client service professionals to deliver a strong ROI on their marketing investment. Go to idsfranchisemarketing.com for a complimentary digital audit and consultation.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio. And today I really do have some special guests with me. I know I say that every time, but it is true because I have the co-founder of IDS. If you were listening carefully, you know that they're a supporter and sponsor of Franchise Marketing Radio. So I have the co-founder, VP of sales, everything. He wears every hat over at IDS, Joe Mohay. It's great to have you on the show.
Great to be with you, Rob, as usual. Great to do all these wonderful web podcasts and continue to build that voice and amplify that voice in franchising. So thanks for all you're doing, Rob.
You got it. It's good to be here. So I wanted to, just kind of get in today. We wanted to talk about, I think, a topic that's near and dear to everybody in the franchise world, which is local SEO and how we really help these local franchise businesses thrive. And we're all so dependent on Google. We use it. We need it as business owners. So it's a great topic. And I know we have some really interesting information from one of the best in the business and when it comes to SEO. And I'm going to let you make that introduction, Joe. But tell us a little bit about, I know there's a webinar coming up at the end of the month to really get into more detail. We're going to talk a little bit about it. But, why don't you tell us a little bit about the webinar and our special guest?
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited here at IDS. So we are partnering up with a long-time friend of IDS and someone we respect very, very highly in the SEO community. His name is Andrew Shotland. He's CEO and founder of Local SEO Guide. He's been doing this longer than most people I've ever known and is always at the forefront. So Andrew is going to be partnering with us on a business webinar on May 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to talk about the secrets of franchise location SEO. We're going to talk about Google Business Profile Mastery and some really big things that Andrew and his team have identified as trends to be thinking about and planning in 2023 based on some great data gathering and insights that he has put with his team. So Andrew is our guest today as well. And we're excited to talk about a little bit about what the upcoming webinar is going to be about. So Andrew, welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio. And thanks again for participating in the webinar this upcoming next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Joe. Nice to be here. Nice to be here, Rob. I just want to give you a shout out. Really, really like the intro music. Got me in the mood. So.
Yeah.
A lot of energy. It brings energy. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's the key to a good podcast is like, what's the intro to?
It's just the intro. I always stop at the intro anyway. But anyway, no, it's great to have you. And I'm kind of geeky when it comes to SEO and tech and spent a lot of my whole life in tech. And but man, SEO is just, if we could all just figure out that golden method, right, to make $1 billion, right? But it's always something that's so important to marketing. It's so foundational to everything. The best traffic on the internet. It's foundational to marketing. It's so important for franchisors to really get it right. I mean, when I'm buying into a franchise, I really lean on the franchise brand to figure this stuff out for me. And so there's always a process of learning more. And you're the guy, right? You're at the forefront in this particular area. So I'm excited to talk to you some more. So tell us a little bit about this webinar. I know before the call, we had a little conversation about some key things that you're going to be talking about, and hopefully you'll share some today. But I just know these are things that they keep me up at night at times, right? Like depending on who I'm working with and what's going on. But it's like, if we could just figure this out. So anyway, great to have you. Tell us a little bit about this webinar and some of the things you're going to be covering.
Sure. So before I jump into that, let's just clarify. I'm not the guy. I am just a guy who probably spends more time than is healthy staring at Google. SEO, as you know, is one of the most ridiculous marketing channels on the planet, but also can be one of the most effective. So one of the ways that I've kind of developed my skill set in it is by getting a lot of information from other people who've been doing it for a long time. So one of the things we like to do is, as we figure stuff out, share it with the community, because we all are making each other better at it. It really is a wacky channel. So with that in mind, we like to do our own research on how SEO works, and using like big data sets, like looking at 10 million keywords and trying to figure out what that tells us for a site that's trying to target like every city in the country and things like that. And so over the last 6 months, as Google has certainly changed a lot, we've been updating our research to make sure that we are kind of at the forefront of understanding what's the latest, what is Google rewarding at scale. And so we've done a bunch of different research projects. And so we're just kind of sharing the data that we found with the community. And so IDS was a natural kind of fit for this, because we've done a lot of projects with them on franchises, multi-location, et cetera. And so, so the kinds of things we're going to be talking about, you probably have seen a lot of searches for near me in your browser, because Google kind of forces you into that. And you've probably seen a lot of URLs that show up in the search results that say like best roofer near me, which is kind of a clunky result. And so we wanted to see, does that still work? That kind of ridiculous targeting, does that still make a difference? And so we did a lot of research to try to figure that out as best we could. We also have been looking at search intent. So as that's a fancy way for saying, are the words that people are searching for, what kind of results do they deliver in Google? For example, is it a local intent search? Does Google think I want to see a local list of local businesses? Or is it a national intent search? Meaning, does Google think I want some information or a national provider? And it's important to understand that before you decide what are the types of pages and content you're going to put on your website, because we've seen cases where a client has, let's say, created a landing page for every location in the country that it wasn't a local intent query. And so it was kind of a waste of time and maybe detrimental to SEO. And then we've seen on the total opposite, where they created one page and they really had to have a local landing page for it. So we've gotten pretty interested in trying to solve this problem at scale and figure out how to do it. And so we're going to share some data on how we did that. Another thing that I think might be really interesting to franchisees is we've done a lot of work, is particularly with IDS, when a multi-location group with different domains for every one of their locations, like plumberinhouston.com, when they're deciding whether or not are they going to do better having like 100 different location websites or one single national website? And there's no right answer to that. There's just looking at the data and seeing what's working in Google at that point in time. And so we've done a bunch of work with IDS and other companies to kind of do that research and prove that, yeah, this is the right way to do it. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to go through that methodology and what the results show, and hopefully give listeners just a bunch of free information that they can go and take away and take to their teams and really help them make more decisions and start thinking about how to kind of have a more proactive SEO campaign.
Yeah, and I could even elaborate on that, actually, Rob, for a moment, just firsthand. I mean, Andrew has this great analogy, the folks that he partners with a lot of times are service providers like us. We're the primary care physician. He's the surgical surgeon type that knows how to figure out how to solve a specific pain point. And when it comes to migrations, and we're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of location owners that are impacted, their livelihood is impacted by the website. We take a lot of time and care and planning pre and post launch. And that's where Andrew's been impactful most, is like making sure we anticipate all the hurdles and make sure we have all the checkpoints once it's launched, that everything is going to carry out as best as we can, knowing Google at the end of the day controls all of this, right? So I could just speak on the experiences that we've had with Andrew, and we're extremely excited to share some of those learnings with the franchise community, because I could assure you there are a lot of these brands that we probably talk to or don't talk to that struggle with this decision. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
some of those key points. I'm sorry to interrupt. Some of those points you brought up are just, I mean, I can tell you they're like the burning questions. Some people have decided they probably shouldn't even go down that road. They won't get the clear answer. So I'm excited.
Too afraid to pull the Band-Aid off, right?
Yeah. Right. And when you talk about having, what did you say, 80 million keywords or whatever the number was, a large data set.
Yeah.
That's when no one has access. I mean, very few organizations are in the business of having access to that kind of insight. And that's what's amazing about your business, Andrew, that you do. But that's what I pay attention when people have that kind of data set to look at, as far as what did it tell you?
It's like the data is all out there. Like, I'm sure half your audience has a subscription to some SEO tool or something that has it in there. It's just that it's impossible to make sense of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I know the answer's in there somewhere. I just can't figure it out. And
so all those rows of text, and you're like, okay, what does all this mean?
And why would you want to? Again, to keep the doctor analogy going, it's like you're not going to read your blood test. Let the doctor tell you what the blood test's about. Who cares? Like, I just want to know, am I going to live, right? Or do I need to exercise or diet, right? That's what I want to know. So I kind of like the doctor. Actually, Dr. House is the analogy I really like, because he's just a cranky curmudgeon who, pursues the answer until it'll kill him or something, right? That's what we try to do.
The truth, right? It's whether it hurts or not, at least we'll know the truth. And
right.
You made a comment earlier. I think of build it and then they will come, right? Like that strategy doesn't work in almost anything, but the idea of having to deal with hundreds of websites or hundreds of business locations, you certainly need to know what direction you're going before you do it, right? Certainly will make it a lot easier for everybody if you did. So this is going to be pretty interesting to hear some of your learnings in the webinar.
Yeah, I know in that particular instance, right, it's fraught with tension, that discussion. And we view our job as to kind of provide clarity. So at least you have the best possible set of information about what the upside downside is.
Right. That's right.
And now it's up to you guys to make the decision. But before we started this methodology, I don't think there was a really, there was like a kind of put your finger in the air. I think this will work, right? Or I think this won't work. And so we just find that it's easier to make those decisions when you've done a lot of the homework to kind of prove that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, Joe, tell me more about, I know that I am very familiar with IDS, and tell me more about how this influences some of your plan for multi-location business with some of your clients. I mean, obviously you're always looking to innovate and improve. Is this some of the stuff you're going to talk about at the webinar going to be related to some product or service enhancements on your side? Are you doing some additional things? Or is it just validation that what you've been doing is the right approach?
I think it's more just, I guess being a resource of information, knowing what we know in the franchise industry as a marketing service provider now going on 11 plus years. We've had a lot of learnings in migrating sites or helping individual franchisees accomplish their goals, whether it's more advanced strategies than what comes with their normal franchisee package, I guess you'd say. Clients at ours are not ours. We always try to be resourceful. And so knowing what we know of Andrew and having the experiences we've had with him over the span of 15 years, I'd say, we just know, not to toot his own horn because he won't do it. He's one of the best I've ever worked with. And so, us having the community of franchising, having their back and bringing someone Andrew's caliber in to really help advocate for best practices to help SEO, impact businesses. That's what we want to do. We just want to pay it forward. We've plenty of clients we can help. And if we're there to be their resource, we will. Others that are on the webinar are going to learn some great things that they can carry out themselves. That's all the better for the community. That's what we're trying to do.
Awesome. That's great. So what else would you like to share about the event? And, maybe again, remind the audience how they can register and where they can go for that.
Yeah, great. I'll touch on that for a moment. So again, we'll be doing the webinar on May 31st at 1 p.m. So anyone that is obviously listening to this podcast, you'll see this float around on, I'm sure, a social media post or an email blast here in the next 24 hours. Just click on the register link and we'll make sure you're registered. Of course, the webinar will be recorded and you can have a video play of everything that's covered. We'll also have a few, call outs at the end, some giveaways and some nice added services or values of services to award to some participants. So we're looking to get as many folks in the franchise community as possible, but anyone else that wants to learn some cool things about multi-location marketing are welcome. And Andrew, we're gonna have a lot of fun. He's a funny guy, and we'll probably have some funny anecdotal comments and jokes in the webinar. So it won't be just talking and showing graphs, right, Andrew?
No, it's just going to be talking and showing graphs. It's all webinars.
Just graphs.
Just a couple of things to add to that. So we're going to definitely dive into AI content. We've been as of this week, we will have created 10,000 new pages using our proprietary AI processes. So I'll talk about that in case people are interested in that. We're also we're looking for alpha testers for a fancy new SEO tool because we're very trendy. And so if you join the webinar, we'll add an invite to you and see if you want to kick the tires on a crazy new SEO tool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's a cool name.
I'm interested. I mean, I'm signing up. So before we let you go, Andrew, do you want to let the audience know how they could learn more about you and your company, localseoguide.com? Is that correct? Is that
Local SEO Guide, GUIDE.com. I think we're actually going to rebrand as LSG SEO because no one can ever remember Local SEO Guide. I'll
buy the domain off you if you want.
Yeah, I bet you will. You can also find me on Twitter at Local SEO Guide. I post annoying guru videos on LinkedIn every once in a while, so you can see those. That's how you can find me.
Yeah. And Rob, you already know us because we're on the intro, so no need to keep plugging that. But IDS is your sponsor. But if you want to hear more about us, you can go to our website, idigitalstrategies.com, and what you learned from here in this webinar. Obviously, we're excited about how that relates back to your franchise system, and lots of experience on that end from IDS. So we're happy to be a resource.
Perfect. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you for your time today. I know everybody that's hearing this and knows about the event is looking forward to it. So myself included.
Great.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody.